Hello everybody, Ghostblade 1062 here with another locomotive review. Today we will be looking at a DCC ready Athearn Genesis SD90MAC, and this is a locomotive that is in the Union Pacific scheme, patched for Canadian Pacific. And now let's move on to the unboxing. Alright, starting with the front of the box, we have our typical golden Athearn Genesis logo. This can also be seen on the bottom with an age restriction warning and a chemical warning. On the top it is also present. The back is just a plain white, and then the right side of the box has the Athearn Genesis logo, the Athearn website, as well as the address. And then on the left side of the box, we have some product information. So here we again have the Athearn Genesis logo. We have a picture of the locomotive, this being a former Union Pacific SD90MAC patched for Canadian Pacific. It is road number 3747, product ID ATHG 27282, and here we have the product barcode. And now taking off the lid of the box, we do have some paperwork included. Including the exploded diagram of the locomotive. And then a more detailed for all the separate detail parts. Also included is this exploded diagram with a parts list in case you need any spare parts for your locomotive. And this is quite extensive. Then we have the Athearn News advertisement, and finally our warranty card. And now, removing this foam sheet, we get access to the clamshell that actually contains the locomotive. And in this slot here at the top of the foam, we have this little baggie with some extra detail parts and spare rotating bearing caps for the locomotive. And now, sliding off the outer sleeve from the clamshell, we can open it up. And I will say I have had this locomotive out of the box for some pictures at my former model railroad club. So the softer plastic lining isn't factory aligned anymore. But it is there to help protect the paint from the harder plastic packaging. And taking off the foam guards on either side here. And here we have the locomotive. And next we will move on to the detail overview section of the video. Time to take a closer look at the locomotive. Starting at the front here, we have our snow plow, which has slots where our MU cables and airline hoses run through, with grab irons on the top. We have our plastic knuckle coupler here. And just below the walkway here, we have our ditch lights, instead of them being mounted on top of the walkway, with separately fitted grab irons underneath the walkway as well. We have our separately fitted handrails on either side going up to our walkway, which has its own handrail with chain detailing. We have our number boards on the front of the short hood here rather than above the windows, with the CP reporting marks on the center of the front hood here. Then we have our molded in access door, which has very nice hinge detailing and door handle detailing, as well as our grab irons to get up to the top of the short hood, where we have our sand filler hatches and more grab irons. And then we have our nice and clear front windows with windshield wiper detailing and more grab irons along the top of the, towards the top here. Moving on from the side here, we have our steps leading up to the walkway that gives us access to the cab, which have this white striping on the front to help them be more visible. We have our sanding lines here in front of the truck, and some very nice truck detailing with our brake cylinders clearly visible, suspension detailing, very well done. As well as along the frame we have our piping detailing. On the cab here, just below our see-through windows, we have the road number, this being 3747. And we can see inside the cab and through it as well. And just above the window we have our sunshade. Then moving on behind, we have this rear window here. And then we have our walkway here above where an AC converter box is on most North American locomotives, with separately fitted plastic handrails. And we have our various exhaust vents here as well. And then moving on, we have this American flag on the side here, as this is a patched locomotive, formerly of Union Pacific. And we have our molded in detailing for all the various access panels, with the CP reporting marks just under the radiator here. And towards the very back here, another set of steps going up onto the walkways of the locomotive. Looking at the back of the locomotive here, we again have our plow, we have our airline hoses and MU cables. We have our walkway, our handrails. We have our grab irons going towards the roof of the long hood. And then we have our directional tail light here as well. And we also have our road number on the top here by the radiator. And now moving on to the last side of the locomotive, again we have our steps going up to our walkways. We have our CP reporting marks and the American flag. Looking at the fuel tank here, we also have our air reservoirs, we have our fuel gauge, we have our emergency shutoff here as well. And we have a shorter step-up area here that leads into the rear door of the cab, which again see-through windows so we can see through the locomotive, and could potentially put a engineer figurine inside. The underside of the locomotive doesn't offer any additional detailing. However, we do have some rooftop detailing, starting with our PTC antenna array on the top of the cab here. We have an access panel with grab irons and some riveting detailing. We have our exhaust here, our 3-chime horn, and then we have our 4 radiator fans here at the back. All in all, a very nicely detailed locomotive. It's got a lot of weight to it as well. And next, we will move on to the rip track segment of the video. Alright, time for the rip track segment of the video. To start off with, we are going to verify the wheel gauge of the locomotive. Starting with the front truck. Axle 1 is good. Axle 2 is good. And axle 3 is good. Now onto the rear truck. Axle 1 is good. Axle 2 is good. And axle 3 is good. So all 6 of our axles are in gauge. And now to verify our coupler height. Okay, rear truck is on. Now for the front truck. Okay, our front coupler is good. Now for the rear coupler. There we go. We are also good. So both of our couplers are at proper height from the factory, which is good. Though in the future, once I get another case worth, I will be replacing them with KD couplers. And there will be future videos that will include DCC and sound installations for this locomotive as well. But now, let's take the locomotive onto the track for a test run. Alright, I've got the locomotive on the track now. So let's give it some power. I have switched over from my ESU system to a Tech 3 power command station for a DC power rather than DCC. So, okay, and I have it in reverse right now. Let's give it some power. And our front lights are coming on. It is moving smoothly. Now into reverse. And again, our rear light is coming on. and it is moving nice and smooth. Good speed control. The ditch lights are also coming on without an issue. So all in all, it is running very nice and smooth. It can accelerate pretty quick as well. And all in all, a smooth runner so far. I am now going to give it some run-in time as well. But so far it is running very well. Alright everybody, this concludes my review of the CP Patched SD90MAC in the Union Pacific paint scheme. This patched locomotive is a very nice addition to my collection, as I've not seen a lot of patched power in models. So this unit really does stand out among my collection. And so far it is running in right now. It is running very smoothly, at least so far. And in the future, there will be a video, or more than one video, depending on when I get the right speakers for the locomotive. I am already in possession of a Locksound 5 decoder for this locomotive. So depending on how things go, a video for the decoder install may even release before this review video. That being said, the locomotive itself is super well detailed as well. And it is a very, very beautiful piece. That being said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe for more model railroad content. Have a great day, everybody.